Hey friend, welcome back. Thanksgiving is coming upon us. It is going to be here before we know it. So I'm going to be sharing some of our favorite Thanksgiving sides and dishes, some fun little twists on classic ones, and also just some more homemade versions of the classic Thanksgiving sides. So we're going to start off with a pumpkin pie. Of course, it is classic Thanksgiving, but we're going to make a maple pumpkin pie. So it has maple syrup in it, and it also, I'm going to use sucanat sugar, but you can use brown sugar if you want. So I'm going to start off with the pie crust. Now, you can definitely just use your favorite pie crust for a single recipe or just have it. I will share this one that I am doing. I want to preface this by saying that I love butter for everything, but I have not yet mastered a butter pie crust. So I am sticking to my favorite pie crust, which uses Crisco. So you can use this recipe or you can use your tried and true favorite. But this one is a very user-friendly, beginner-friendly, and it always turns out so good. So I just whisked up some flour, a little bit of sugar and salt. I'm splitting my recipe in half. So I'm going to add a half a cup of Crisco, and I get the butter flavored Crisco, which of course adds a good flavor. And then just put them in by little chunks. And then I'm going to just work it in till they're kind of like pea-sized. But on the note of the pumpkin pie, I really have never been a huge pumpkin pie fan, but I love this pumpkin pie. I love the depth of flavor that the maple syrup gives it, and I love it so much. I will add that I am using our homegrown pumpkin from 4 years ago. We froze it actually right after my oldest daughter was born, just she was a couple months old. I don't really remember doing it, to be honest, but it also adds a lot of really good flavor compared to store-bought canned pumpkin, but it's still a delicious pie regardless. Okay, so you can see little pea-sized pieces. Now you can overwork this pie dough. It's harder to do than with the butter pie crust, but just make note, you can overwork it. And then another kind of secret ingredient is sour cream. And so I'm going to put a 1/4 cup. Okay, and I'm going to just put all the sour cream in. And then I'm just going to work that into. Just enough that it's going to be easier to form into a ball. Right, now, just going to form it into a ball. Okay, so now it's all into a ball. I'm going to just flatten it a little bit into a dish shape. I'm going to cover it in plastic wrap, and I'm going to put it in the fridge for about 30 minutes. We're going to switch gears quick while the pie crust is in the fridge and start on some sourdough dinner rolls. I tried a few different sourdough dinner rolls that I wasn't a big fan of, but these ones are so good. I typically like to start these at night and do an overnight dough, but honestly, I was just too tired last night. So I'm doing it tonight or this morning, and we'll bake them tonight. But it is a great option to do the night before, so you don't have to worry about it the morning of, or it's a lot easier. So I'm just going to put 260 grams of flour. This makes 8 rolls. So I'm going to add a little bit of milk, that it's just a little bit warmed up. My 100 grams of starter. $10 grams of honey. And 1 egg. To mix that up good. And we'll get it going into the flours with the KitchenAid mixer. Okay, I'm going to turn this to 2. I'm going to add this in thirds, so I'm just going to add part of it. Let it mix for about 20 seconds. And we'll just keep adding the rest in. The rest of it. I'm going to increase it to like speed 4 on a KitchenAid. Woo. For about 30 seconds. I'm just making sure that it gets all the flour. Actually, I think I honestly just do this part by hand most of the time. I think I definitely do that. Yeah, okay. Pretty sure I just do this part by hand almost always, just mixing it up maybe with my whisk. Now that I'm remembering things, and then once it starts kneading in 30 minutes is when you actually use the KitchenAid. All right, let's cover it and let it sit. So we're gonna switch back to the pie now. And the great thing about pumpkin pies is that they freeze really well. So if you want to make this ahead of time and put it in the freezer to save yourself some stress come actual holiday, you can do that and it'll be just as delicious. So I'm going to add the pumpkin. This is actually about 2 cups, which the recipe calls for 1 3/4 cups. Just we're going to add everything in there and get it mixed up so it can go in the oven. Egg. Nutmeg always clumps up, so make sure I don't get any clumps of solid nutmeg in the pie. Oh, that, okay. A little bit extra. Gradually add in the evaporated milk. Now I would encourage you to be more careful than I was about over whisking here. The pie tasted the same, but I did have little bubbles in the batter, which then also baked in the pie, which you will see. So if you don't care about the looks, then it doesn't really matter. But otherwise, I would just make sure to be careful about not over whisking or whisking too fast. All right, now that the pie is in the oven, I'm gonna get back to the rolls. I'm gonna pour in the salt. I'm gonna add the butter in little chunks at a time. About 30 seconds or so in between until it gets mixed in well. So that's what it looks like. Doesn't look like a whole lot, but it does make 8 rolls, so you can certainly double, triple that, quadruple it for whatever you need. I'm just gonna cover this and it will sit on the counter for probably 8 hours or so. So we will check back with these later. Well, these dinner rolls are all soft and doubled and soft and puffy. So I have my greased pan, and I'm gonna split this into 8 equal pieces. Oh, so soft and buttery. You can just feel it in the dough. Just gonna split them into 8 and we'll roll them into balls. And then they'll do a second rise and then they will be time to bake. Oh boy. Here, let me get it round up for you. Oh yeah, there you go. You don't squish it. See that one? Right here. Oh, good job. You see him? Yeah, no, we won't give him a hug. Just need a little bit of whipped cream and it will be perfect. You'll have to let me know if you try this variation because I don't think it's only me who will love this. So, so good. So I had to split making these things into a different day because I had some other commitments come up. So we're getting right back to it with some really delicious side options. So these are sweet potatoes from our garden. So they look a little rough compared to store-bought. We're gonna make a sweet potato casserole because that's just kind of necessary for Thanksgiving. We're gonna boil those, get them soft, and we'll finish that process. So while those are getting going and they're gonna boil for a while, I'm gonna start on another side dish, which is green bean casserole, which is another classic. You can, of course, usually use a can of cream of mushroom soup, but we are going to make our own cream of mushroom soup. So I have some canned mushrooms. You can certainly use fresh. I'm just going to chop them up kind of finely. We're going to do like 1 can's worth of cream of mushroom. And also just to note, if you see my shirt, we were just outside and I accidentally got sprayed by a garden hose by one of my kids. So it's dry enough to wear, but I'm sure you can still see that. So just pay no mind. But these are all finely chopped. And basically you just make a roux with flour and butter and then add the milk and chicken broth and some seasonings, and that's all that is. What? So I put all the flour and spices in here. Now that the butter is nice and warm, whisk that up. Have everything prepped because once the butter is ready, it needs to be, going. So I put my chicken broth and milk in the same deal, and I'm just going to slowly add it in portions. Wait a little bit until it thickens up, and then I'll add some more. I have my little sous chef by me. Are you helping? Yeah? Yeah, we're going to need that later. Yeah, that thing never fits in there, does it? Well, nope, that's not how it goes. Last bit. It's getting nice and thick. We're just about ready to add the mushrooms. I'm just going to add in the mushroom. So I have my canned green beans from the garden, last year's actually. So I'm gonna I drain these, I'm gonna put them in. Yeah, I maybe should have got a bigger bowl. And the cream of mushroom. So I'm just gonna add a little more milk, soy sauce, some pepper, and seasoning salt, and then of course the crispy onions, which we're not actually making from scratch completely, or making from scratch, but you can do that if you would like. But it can certainly be a bit of a song and dance, going back and forth, getting everything prepped and ready, especially the day of. So that is why I think if you can prep something in advance, you definitely should. So the day of is just more relaxing for you as well. Even if you're not wanting to prep everything from scratch, prepping things you can do ahead of time is so helpful. So like I mentioned before, the pumpkin pie you can make the day before, you can make it weeks in advance if you want to freeze it because it freezes so good. The rolls you make the night before, and then the morning of you just have to shape and bake. You can probably also do a variation of freezing that, but depends if you need to or not. This sweet potato casserole we're going to be making, you can definitely you can freeze that. You can prep it the day before and keep it in the fridge, and then bake the day of. So whatever you can do to make the day, the actual holiday, more relaxing for yourself, would highly encourage you to do that. And a taste test. A little more seasoning salt. Oh yeah, that's it. Well, to continue with the song and dance, we are going to get the potatoes going. Now, I know that instant potatoes can be very tempting sometimes, and with nothing wrong with them, nor do they taste terrible either. But you can't beat real mashed potatoes. We had a lot of mashed potatoes growing up, and it's a favorite memory of mine. And in fact, black pepper, whenever I smell it, always makes me think of potatoes. So remember that when you are making food, that it's not just food, it's not just for that day, but it is for many memories and for many years to come. So my dad always peels the potatoes, mainly because we always had russets, but we like Yukon Golds, and that is what we grew in the garden. I never worry about peeling them. It saves time. I don't mind at all the texture. But if you have a harder skinned potato or you like peeled potatoes, you can certainly peel them. You chop these up to boil them, and then they're pretty easy, of course. And then after they're softened, we'll mash, and all you gotta do is add butter, milk, salt, and pepper, and then of course we'll make some gravy to go on top. And then for the last 10 minutes, I'll sprinkle on a few more of these. It's at half a cup more. Kind of just measuring with my heart because, to be honest, you cannot have too much of this. I really don't think so. Whatever you do, don't skim because these are the best. Oh yeah. Okay. That might be good. Another 10 minutes. And then we're done. Well, these sweet potatoes took a little bit longer. This one did anyways. It's a little larger than many. I'm just going to get all the peelings off. Although, to be completely honest, you could probably just leave them in. But I will take these off. And then we will add the rest of the goodies to it. And we are going to do a streusel topping. Let me know in the comments if you like your sweet potatoes with marshmallows on top or the streusel topping. Honestly, I like both. I grew up with the marshmallows. I have a hard time choosing. We're going to do a streusel topping today, though. But let me know what your favorite is. And while you're at it, let me know what your favorite Thanksgiving side dish is. So I strained the potatoes. They're fork tender. Just mash them just a little bit. All right, now I'm gonna add some butter. I eyeball how many potatoes I need. I'm sure there's formulas out there. So that means all of this is just by taste too. But let the butter melt for a little bit. Gonna pour some milk in. You don't want them, just be careful because you don't want them too soupy, of course. You can always add more milk. And do this a little bit at a time until we get it to the right creaminess. And we'll add some salt and pepper. And something to keep in mind is I'm gonna make some ham gravy with the drippings. And ham obviously tends to be a little more salty. So keep that in mind when salting the potatoes, that you're gonna have a salty, decently salty gravy on it. If you're doing turkey or something a little bit less potent, then maybe you want a little more seasoning in the potatoes. I like salt and pepper, and I don't care for when things are undersalted. So you salt it however you like best. But that is my preference. Hit. Kind of hot. So I have a ham going, and I'm just going to get some of the drippings from it. A bigger ham might get you more drippings, and I guess what I'm gonna get. You can also get ham base, like chicken and stock, beef stock. You can get ham base, just in case you don't have enough drippings or you just want a little extra flavor as well. But I have enough for us tonight. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to do a cornstarch slurry with it. So they have kind of serving sizes on the back for how much. Kind of just guess. Start with less and then add more if needed. So I have a little bit of water in here. I don't have a whole lot of drippings, honestly. Kind of wish I had the ham base right now, just to make a little more. But with the cornstarch, and it's in cold water, make sure to do that. Do not add cornstarch straight to the drippings because it will not work. So I'm just gonna add that to that, and it'll boil and thicken up, and we will see if we like the consistency. There we go. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found a little bit of inspiration for things you can make for Thanksgiving, maybe some ways you can make them more from scratch. Again, make sure to prep everything you can in advance just so you can fully enjoy the day. But I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and thank you for watching and for being here, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, friends.